mitzvah is a Jewish quinceanera. And no, it's bat mitzvah. Bat mitzvah for women.
I didn't know that bat mitzvahs and ber mitzvahs were different.
Yeah. There's one for boys, one for girls.
Call me... Let's get this started. Welcome back to a new episode of the Invested Podcast. It's the show where we discuss the top 10 most underrated punk bass players of the year 1998.
Sly Stallone.
Is that a real name?
Sylvester Stallone?
Oh, yeah. Sly is a name for Sylvester. Is Sly Cooper's full name Sylvester Cooper?
Yes, it is.
I finally get it. Not just because he's a sly dog.
He's a sly dog. I don't know. He would take offense to that. He would be, excuse me, sir.
I'm a fox. No, he's
I'm
not.
No puppy.
He's a raccoon.
Oh, yeah, the bad guys were dogs. The Mojo Jojo, what's his name? Macho Man Randy Savage. What's that? Mugshot. Yeah, there we go. There was an M in there.
Macho Man Randy Savage. I like that better. That's a real person, though, so it doesn't work.
It is a real person.
Bonesaw is ready.
Oh, yeah, when he was played Bonesaw McGraw.
McGraw? Was that his name?
Is that yeah, or maybe I'm getting Scrub McGruff. You know, I'm getting my dog.
Bonesaw McGraw.
M-word dudes.
Today we are going to do a quick little review / discussion of Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
Because we just came back from seeing...
Hot off the presses.
Hot off the press. It's hot. You can feel it.
The ink is still dry.
It's like when you put a potato into a microwave and then you wrap it up in a moist towelette and it steams out of it, but you have to pick it up. But it's too hot, so you kind of hop it, like hot potato.
I'm such a bad cook. I don't know what cooking is.
You don't know how to cook a potato in a microwave? You put it in a microwave, you push the button maybe 3 minutes, 5 minutes?
My way of cooking a potato, I take a pot of hot water and I just dunk it in there. And then I just pray. And I leave it.
How do you cook the hot water?
How do I cook the hot water? Yeah. Oh, it's hot. It's already hot.
It just comes out of the sink hot. You just use the hot water from the sink?
The hot water, and then I put potatoes in the hot.
So you don't do anything with it. You just put them in a bowl.
I put a lot of potatoes in there, like too many. Like to its full. And then
to the point where there's more potato in the bowl than there is water.
Yeah. and the
water just fills the cracks, really.
The water gets hot. It's so hot that it steams up, but the potatoes aren't cooked. So it's like you just get smashy potato.
That's called mashed potatoes.
Mashy potatoes. Yeah, I call them smashy potatoes.
Do you call them mashed potatoes?
Mashed.
Mashed potatoes.
They were mashed. They're no longer mashed.
Ridged chips.
Mashed potatoes. That's why it's mashed potatoes, not mashed potatoes, because these potatoes... Well,
I think it is mashed potatoes. We just say it fast. We drop the D.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I got to conjugate these verbs.
That's a big word. Can you conjugate the word conjugate?
I don't fully know what it means.
I don't either. I'm not going to pretend like I know what conjugate means.
I was in my French class and they're like, we're going to conjugate verbs. And I was like, I need to go back to school. I need to go back to level 1 French. Je m'appelle Connor.
Los pollos hermanos.
Yeah, close. You know, same country. So, or same land.
Same globe.
Same
Earth.
Globe.
Yeah,
same planet.
See, I know what I'm talking about.
It's a great way to win on a test. Same planet.
I think we should start with a little bit of news.
The news.
Oh, yeah, the news.
I don't have a lot, but I do have some early solo A Star Wars Story reviews.
Sucked.
No, so it's been doing pretty well.
It's been doing well.
Yeah.
Ron Howard pulled it out of the bag. He wasn't too busy doing voiceover for Arrested Development.
This is from Jermaine Lucier. I don't know who he is, but he has a little check mark next to his name in Twitter.
Oh, so
but he said, quote, Solo, A Star Wars Story is a goddamn delight, a non-stop adventure packed with way more emotion than you're expecting. You'll have a smile on your face the whole time and leave eager for more.
Leave eager for more. And then, I thought it's a standalone, so you won't get more.
You're not going to get any more.
That's a trick.
But you're going to want it.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a negative to me. So,
well, he also said,
you, Jermaine Lucier.
He also said "goddamn delight," which is I think is a refreshing phrase, but at the same time,
You're gonna start your review with "goddamn." I mean,
Goddamn, yeah. It's like you've already set the tone.
yeah. It's like this guy's an over exaggerator.
This film
clearly.
was a delight. No, this film was a goddamn.
Goddamn delight. This is
it's
from
loaded.
Marcel Buchman, also Buchman.
Buchman?
Is Michel Buchma.
The librarian.
She has a check next to her name as well on the Twitter. So it says, I loved hashtag Solo Star Wars Story so much. It's a Western, a caper, funny with so much heart. It's got so much surprises that fans are going to love. Donald Glover is charming times 1,000.
It's got so much surprises.
Alden Ehrenreich is a great Han Solo. Really? And just know I've been saying this for years. She says, fave new Star Wars.
She got surprised middle of her review. She was like, and he's great as Han Solo. Oh, really? I'm gonna write this? All right.
This is from Kevin Pahlawi.
Oh, yeah.
These are these are reviewers, like movie reviewers.
These are real people?
Yeah, these are real people, real movie reviewers.
Unless they're Adam from YMS, I have no patience. Or Red Letter Media. Just because it gives me a good, not that I take their word as gospel, but it's a nice, like, barometer.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not saying that they're going to be correct. I'm just saying this is what is happening.
This is what's happening.
But this happened with...
these people could all be paid money from these companies.
That's true. This happened with The Last Jedi.
Oh, is that what happened?
Extremely... no, they didn't get... I don't know if they got paid, but the early reviews were, like, wicked high. And who knows, you know?
Do you remember when I liked The Last Jedi? When I was, like... It was fun.
Yeah. Do you not like it anymore?
Well, I did have fun watching it, but I don't think it aged well. It's not something I would seek out in the future, except for that throne room scene.
I've
which
only
is my
seen
favorite
it
scene.
twice in theaters. I enjoyed it the second time, but it does drag with the casino stuff, and I thought that the first time too. But the rest of it, I feel like is anyway.
Well, you know what it was? Because I realized I thought Rian Johnson was gonna do the third one, and then I was excited for it, and then when I heard J.J. Abrams, I realized that all the stuff I was excited for was not going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's all the ideas that excited me about that movie. They're like, and now it's gone. Goodbye.
I don't know. I from what I remember, I still liked it. I have a little bit more news. Enough with that. That's Han Solo.
That's Han Solo.
Yeah. Actually, I have one more from Kevin Pahlawi. I was supposed to read this. Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story is really good. Fun as hell. It's a straight intergalactic heist movie.
Fun as hell. Why is everybody swearing?
Kind of refreshing to see a Star Wars movie without a Death Star or rebellions. I can't see this stuff. Fate at stake. My eyes. Alden Ehrenreich is super impressive as Han Solo, but L3 might be my new favorite character. So apparently the early reviews are really positive.
They like him.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Fast and Furious spinoff.
Ooh.
With Hobbs and Shaw, which is Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, is in the works.
I watched the first Fast and Furious film.
It's supposed to be a buddy movie. Did you like it?
It's
not that good.
I was bored during the action scenes, but there's a part of me that was interested in Vin Diesel and Paul Walker's friendship. I was like, are they going to be friends? And at the end of the movie, I don't think I know it's Point Break with cars, but I don't know if they top that off. You know what I mean? He's just like, I'm in your face. That's my Vin Diesel.
You should start on Fast and Furious 5.
Fast 5?
That's the best one. Okay. Fast 5 is really good. And just go on from there.
Can you name all of them in order?
In chronological order of like the films, or just
because
in order it's just Fast and Furious, Too Fast, Too Furious, Tokyo Drift, Furious 4. No, it's Fast and Furious, and then it's Fast 5, Fast and Furious 6, Furious 7,
and then Fate of the Furious.
Fate of the Furious.
Okay, is that the last one? Fate of the Furious?
Yeah,
they're done.
No, it's the most recent one. I don't know if they're done though.
Okay.
But they're gonna do a Hobbs. Shaw.
You were just saying they're going to do one, yeah.
It's gonna be
Who are they?
Hobbs is Dwayne Johnson.
Oh yeah,
and
he's the guy with the cast.
Shaw is Jason Statham. He was a villain in one of them.
Weren't they both villains at one point?
Hobbs wasn't really a villain because the main characters are criminals. He's
Right.
like the cop guy.
He's like an anti.
Yeah. So that's why it's good. He's the cop. Shaw is the villain, and they work together.
Ooh, that's kind of.
So it could be good. They're the best part of Furious 7.
Only took 9 movies.
Or Fate of the Furious. I can't remember which one, but they're the best parts
the
of
best
Fate of
parts.
the Furious. Yeah.
That's cool.
There's an
is
amazing
Brazil.
scene. There's an amazing scene in Fate of the Furious where Jason Statham is on a plane and he's trying to protect a baby,
Mhm.
and he's like in a shootout with a baby. It's great.
He's gonna fight the baby.
No, he's
protecting the baby.
protecting the baby. That would be great though. Jason Statham fighting a baby.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I'd watch anything. That's not true. I wouldn't. Andy
watch
Serkis
both.
says that he is very interested in joining the Matt Reeves Batman movie.
Hell yeah.
Who do you think he should play?
Fucking. I want either Riddler or if we're gonna go CG, fucking Mr. Freeze. You know, fucking Mr. Riddler, Mr. Freeze.
You want to play Mr. Freeze?
Yeah, why not?
I feel like there are better villains out there though.
Mr. Freeze and Riddler are the only ones I know. I only read Mr. Wouldn't that be a weird Batman thing? I only read books about Riddler and Mr. Freeze. I like riddles and I like ice. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, those are my two favorites because they're the most like they've like helped Batman before. They're not 100% evil. Like Mr. Freeze, like will have conversations with Batman and he'll be like, "Don't worry, Batman. I'm fine now. Nora's doing well." And then Riddler will be like, I'm gonna help the police now. No more riddles, I promise. Just a couple. I like that. Well, they're both smarty pants. I both like.
I'm just letting you go off right now. It's very amusing to me.
Don't make fun of me. Don't make fun of me.
I had one more thing in news.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it is. Have you seen okay, that's all I got for news. You got anything?
Oh shit. Well, I watched Dunkirk.
Okay, let's do
Finally.
it, dude. Dunkirk. Okay, so Connor finally watched Dunkirk. This is one of my
Watched
favorite movies of
Dunkirk.
2017, and it's maybe one of my favorite movies of all time. But that's not doesn't mean it's like my top 3. It's probably
Right.
in my top 25 movies of all time.
Oh, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
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 Is it your top Chris Nolan?
Yeah, I think so.
And you haven't seen The Prestige?
I haven't seen Prestige.
Okay. I feel like you would like The Prestige.
That's the magician one?
Yeah, magic. You like magic?
Yeah, I like magic.
You like magic?
Yeah, I like those card trickies.
Um,
It's really sad having the third microphone here and no one's sitting there.
it's in memoriam.
Here, Connor, do you want to say something into it?
Yeah.
That was... Oh, wait, I turned it down. Hang on. Do it again.
Hey, it's me.
That was Connor from the third microphone. Thanks for joining us. It's Connor from the third
I
microphone.
always think about my Ken Watanabe Inception.
Let's invite. What are you talking about?
In Inception, he says the line is without doing the Ken Watanabe voice is
You can do it.
well I will do it.
Oh,
but
so
wanna
I
do it
can
without,
so I can actually
so you can
understand
get it.
Yeah.
The line is Inception. Is it possible? That's the line.
That's the best way to say it.
that's the reading. But in the movie, he's much more like he's talking about his like my competitor is a man in poor health.
Connor, we get close to the microphone.
And then he leans forward and he's like, "Inception, is it possible?" And he's very.
That was
he's very
more like
pretty
a French accent.
good. Well,
Is he
he's kind of has a pan-global accent. I mean,
pan-globalist.
Pan-globalist.
I don't even know what that means.
It's when you eat a lot of bread. Because bread in French is pan.
Oh. I thought it was when you go around the globe with a
What's
frying
pan?
pan and hit
Oh.
people over the head with it.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to ask about Dunkirk. I
Yeah, okay.
want to ask about
Ask
the,
away, ask
the
away.
lighting design.
Real talk.
I wanted to ask about.
Okay, so
When
I'm into lighting design, but the lighting in that movie is not something I noticed
Well, the only reason
because it was all natural lighting.
that's the thing I was going to talk about because
Okay, go ahead.
I could see what was happening on screen,
Isn't that weird?
and it was nighttime, and I was like, "How the hell do they do that? I don't understand. It's nighttime, but I can see everything so clearly."
Yeah, and it doesn't look like they're using giant floodlights.
Yeah, I
'Cause
didn't. I
you
couldn't
can
understand.
tell that sometimes, right?
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't have the answer for that.
you don't have that
No,
secret.
I'd have to
Mickey
watch
Mouse.
it a bunch of times and really like study it or something. But A lot of the time, that's just film exposure, so they just amp up in post, in editing.
I thought, I gotta say, there's stuff in Dunkirk that I did think was silly. One of the things was the kid. What's that dude? The kid on the boat who gets killed because he trips, or no, he gets pushed by Cillian Murphy's character, and then he's like, "The only thing I wanted to do was be in the newspaper," and then his friend's like,
"You thought that was silly?"
Yeah,
I see.
I thought it was silly.
I think that was kind of important in a way that it just kind of shows that anything can happen. But since you said something negative, Connor, I'm going to mute you, and you're never allowed to talk about anything on this podcast. It is now my podcast. Connor cannot say anything anymore. He can talk as much as he wants. Nope, that microphone's not even on. All right, so I'm going to talk about Deadpool now. I just saw Deadpool, and I could never do it. You're back on. I could never do a podcast by myself. That's so boring.
You got the chops. It's just a matter of keeping the energy up.
You're just wheeling like wheelchair. Nobody can see us doing that.
Dunkirk, I gotta say, really fun.
I'm not saying it has to be your favorite movie, but I loved it.
Well, yeah, it was interesting. It was written and directed by Chris Nolan. Totally.
Oh, he's Chris to you, yeah.
Oh, he's
That's
Chris.
Right. You guys are best friends.
Chris came over and he was like, I wrote the script, mate. That's a terrible Chris Nolan. I wrote the script, mate. Hey, you could take it like it is,
I don't think
mate.
he'd ever say mate, but
mate.
Okay. Anyway, what about?
I'm from London, mate.
Say what you want to say about Chris Nolan and Dunkirk.
I thought it was really strong. There's a lot of parts I love. Oddly enough, one of my favorite parts is the very opening of the film when they're just walking down the street like doodly doo.
And the flyers that are falling down. That's a real thing, you know.
Oh yeah,
that actually happened. They sent those flyers down. Isn't that terrifying?
Yeah, that's scary. That's super
Imagine
scary.
hearing planes fly over after being bombed for like hours and hours and hours and days and days and days, and they drop something, but it's not bombs. They drop pamphlets. Yeah. And you're like, okay, and you read it, and it just says, "You're gonna die." Basically, you're surrounded.
You let yourself go, Connor.
And it doesn't. Yeah, you're a disappointment. Your parents are disappointed in you.
Disappointed? No,
there's nothing you can do about being disappointed.
You got to be disappointed back.
Yeah,
that's what we learned.
That's what we learned. When your parents are angry at you, the best form of action is you just be angry back, and then it turns into a yelling argument. You go your separate ways, come back, and everything's
my
okay.
Parents. Teen pregnancy? Nope. What is this, MTV? Nope.
TLC, the Learning Channel.
The Learning Channel.
Yeah.
I just watched that today. That's funny.
Anyway, what else about Dunkirk do you like?
The
visuals and stuff. Yeah.
Well, in the opening scene, the stuff I really liked was when they're getting shot at, and like everybody gets shot except for the one dude.
Yeah.
And then he goes into the sandbag, the sandbags,
the sand fort.
Yeah. And there's all the French that are like, stupid American. And I was like, oh,
saucy.
Yeah, I liked all that stuff. I like how the dude didn't talk the whole time, and he was a French interloper. I was like, oh, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like the target. I like all the misdirects where you think it's going to be one thing, then it's another. You know, when they're in the boat and you think, oh, they're shooting us. No, it's target practice.
Something that I really liked about this movie, it wasn't your typical war movie in my eyes. And what I liked about it was that
it was about cowards. It was about people who were trying to get away.
Well, I mean, that's what you would do. Right.
It's realistic.
Really wasn't any heroes except for Tom Hardy's character.
Yeah,
but what I was going to say is something that I find really interesting, and you may have noticed this. You never see the enemy.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you're right.
There's no scenes of like a German guy shooting a gun or the inside cockpit of the enemy planes. They're just objects. They're far away visions. They're like just dots or just planes with you can't see. You know, it's like that movie, that Spielberg movie, Duel. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's
like
a
truck.
You
don't see the inside of the truck. You just see the truck, and you're terrified of it.
That's fun.
And I really like that whole aspect.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I also for some reason it was both really dramatic, and I also thought it was like silly but also cool at the same time. It gave me a lot of emotions. Whenever Tom Hardy would be like, how much fuel do you have? And it'd be like 45 gallons, and then you'd hear silence, and then he'd be like, okay, and then silence. Do you want to go back? No. It was like really tense and really silly at the same time. I loved it. I was like,
yeah. That last scene though, the air battle, when there's that one moment where like they're in the water and the plane's coming around and the guy's like, come on, and then you see Tom Hardy's little plane dot come into frame.
Oh yeah.
I think that's beautiful. And the music's like, the music kicks off. It's like, and you're like, dude, get him, come on. Like watching that movie, like I was like, I haven't been to a movie like, yeah, my hands were squeezed. I was like, I haven't had that feeling in a movie in a long time.
Interesting. I like
it was, yeah, that movie was crazy. My jaw was open the whole time.
Woo. You would like The Prestige. You'd really like The Prestige. It's somewhat similar in how it's
there any-
executed.
What's it called when you're in the air? Dog battles?
Dog fights?
Are there any dog fights in that movie? The Prestige?
Well,
sir?
I don't know if there's dog fights, but there's dog bites.
Hey, spoilers, man.
Spoilers.
Calm down. What else did you like, dislike? Just Dunkirk.
About Dunkirk?
Yeah.
About Dunkirk.
Kenneth Branagh's performance.
He was good.
Good stuff. When those boats come in, when he's like, it's home, and then it like cuts all the people, I got real emotional.
Yeah, that was a really good scene.
Really
I
good
liked that
stuff.
a lot. I
I
like when everything would blow up, like, because you never expected it, and you were like, oh my god. The real horrifying scene that I was like, this is hard to watch, was when they're all having dinner in the ship, and then
it goes, yeah,
and then it's completely underwater instantly, and I was like, that is horrifying.
It's terrifying.
And there's only one exit,
yeah,
and it's up that way.
Yeah,
that's I was like, ooh, that's really rough.
Yeah, that's rough.
And the worst part is it's all in darkness too, because the lights go out as soon as they get bombed. So it's like,
and everybody's panicking.
Yeah, and there's people who aren't soldiers who are like there as well.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, it's really bad. That's super upsetting.
I can't believe they actually sunk ships too, like for the practical effects. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, how did they get those boats in the water?
Sunk some ships. Probably cleaned it up afterwards, but
I hope so. That's
there's
really
like
tough.
not an ounce of CGI in that movie. It's absolutely incredible. The only CGI is when they're flying through the air and like the cloud of smoke in the background was like added in, stuff like that. You know.
I noticed this weird thing is in video games how when you're shooting in a plane, like you'll have the sensor or whatever it is.
The reticle.
The reticle. It was so cool to see in the movie their reticles, because I was like, is that drawn on or is that
it's a little light.
Yeah, it's a little light.
Yeah.
I was like,
it's a light that reflects up onto like a clear thing, so only the person sitting in front of it can see it.
That was so cool.
That's how like,
because I thought it was like drawn on with like black marker or like a computer display.
Yeah, it's very like in modern you have the red dot sights where it's just like a piece of glass with a reflection of a laser dot.
Yeah,
and you only see it if you look in it from behind and from the right way.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that way an enemy can't see it from the front, and at night all of a sudden you have a glowing red dot looking at you. Yeah.
What's that?
So anyway, yeah, Dunkirk.
I was thinking I was thinking about a lot, like what if I get attacked by a wild animal, like a wild bear, and I always think, and I know this is bad because you should not hurt animals, and I would never hurt an animal.
But you think about how you could kill it.
I think, well, not how I could kill it, but how I could get away. And one of the things I always think about, I'm like, well, what if I had a laser pointer, and like let's say there's a giant bear charging at me, and I just
like its eyeballs.
Yeah, and its eyeballs. Like, would that work? Would the bear be like I would feel bad doing it, but I wonder how effective that would be. 2 laser pointers.
It would probably work with a cat. There's a Geico commercial where that happens. I think it's Geico, where they're like a bobcat's on their car and they shine a laser pointer and it chases it.
Yeah. But in the eyeball. Yeah.
You shine it in the eyeballs.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to do that for humans, right?
No. I just wonder how long it would take to actually have some sort of effect.
Yeah. Well, because at first they'd probably be like, they would, if they were charging at you, I imagine the creature would turn away.
Yeah.
And then you would just have to train in your thing. You're not supposed to point them up in the air because they're airplanes.
Yeah. Okay. So now we have a question about that. You're not supposed to shine them on airplanes. Mm-hmm. What does it do if you shine it on an airplane? Does it disrupt something? It
either disrupts their displays or it gets in their eyeballs. One of those two.
It seems way too far away for the light to it'll disperse too much.
But I mean, I guess lasers just travel. There's no.
No, yeah, but it gradually gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So it must be some sort of.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah, that's how light works. Come on, or
that's how light works. I don't know. I just thought it was a straight beam. Beam me up, Scotty.
I mean, I'm sure there are some lasers that are basically like that. You know what we should do?
What?
We should talk about Deadpool too.
We should talk about Deadpool. Yeah, we're riding off the rails here.
All right, so this is going to be a full-on discussion, review, spoiler talk because I hate the non-spoiler crap because then this is too much work to think about that stuff.
It's too much work.
All right, Connor, what were your thoughts on Deadpool 1, the first one?
On Deadpool 1,
Yeah.
I was kind of underwhelmed.
Underwhelmed.
I thought everybody really had a good time, and I didn't understand why. I was angry.
It's because your parents were disappointed in
My
you.
parents were disappointed, and I was like, no, I'm more disappointed. I'm disappointed in Deadpool. And I just thought that character, there's so much you could do with that character that they didn't do in that movie that they are starting to do in this movie.
Like what? Give me some examples.
One of the things I talked about was that I wanted like scenes where Deadpool... I remember I specifically gave the example if I wanted a scene where Deadpool was doing something in the foreground of the scene and then there was stuff happening in the background. That was like one example. And then that happened. One of my favorite moments in the movie. There was Deadpool was having that moment with Colossus, and then in the background of the scene...
There's very specific things for you to want out of that movie.
But that was the type of caliber of things I want. I wanted multiple things happening at the same time that deal with perspective, deal with breaking the fourth wall. You know, just like you can stretch the movie, you can stretch the structure.
With Deadpool 2, I feel like there was a lot less fourth wall breaking than I wanted there to be.
Interesting.
Did you
more than the first one?
There was more in the first one.
I think that was because the structure is non-linear in the first one because he's telling the story and he keeps going back and forth.
Yeah.
And this one is just kind of the whole way through.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the ending was a perfect fourth wall break. All the mid-credit stuff.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. That was fantastic. That whole scene, but that's the problem I have because that whole scene was like, that's kind of the point of Deadpool.
And it wasn't even in the full movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like most of the movie should be stuff like
He should be going into different things.
Yeah.
Different universes, different comics, different stories.
I'm like, why do we need...
Yeah. I felt like... I really liked this movie, but I felt like the story was a little too serious, too intense at parts.
That makes sense.
Although I did like how they did the beginning. Connor, if you had headphones on right now, you would have loved the sound of that.
Your face, you just instantly were like, what are you doing? Why would you do this to me?
Next time, just let me know and I'll mute you. Next time you grab that bar. Yeah, all right. Yeah, nice and quiet. Yeah, we're back on. What was I? I was in the middle of saying something.
You were talking about it wasn't enough fourth wall breaking, and you were weirded up at the serious moments.
The serious moments. So the beginning, it's like really, really dark and really, it's like some really serious stuff. Drama.
When what's her face dies.
Yeah, but I also really liked how they worked that into the opening credits.
The Skyfall.
The Skyfall stuff.
Opening credits. That's funny.
The James Bond opening stuff, and it said like, and instead of the names, like the first one.
Yeah.
It was like, what the heck did you just do that for type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I had a moment where, it's funny because I got one of those moments where I was like, oh no. Because I like that sequence, but it was very close to an idea I had in my head for another thing. And I was like, oh no, we had the same idea. This is weird.
Isn't that the worst?
That
happened to me. I wrote a story for a creative writing class about a robot that someone made named Ava.
Yeah, you showed it to me.
I think I sent that to you. Yeah. And it came to, and it started to realize it was alive. And then Ex Machina came out like a year and a half after, and I was like,
"You wrote Ex Machina."
I wrote Ex Machina before it came out. Same name, Ava, and everything. Like it's disturbingly weird.
And it was a similar plot as well.
I have it on my computer, and it's dated before that movie came out. Like that's proof right there. Like it's saved.
Yeah, you're right. You came up with that movie.
I sent that to you. Like I wrote that story. It was a little different, but I wrote that story.
Yeah. It was similar tonally. Yeah. And it's funny because your story is like the fear of that character. Yeah. Of like her.
She's afraid.
Yeah. Her worst case scenario.
I was really proud of that.
Yeah, it was really strong, very emotional. I was like, oh god, this is like it was like a Black Mirror episode. Yeah. Black Mirror.
But now it's like I can't do anything with it because it's already a thing.
Oh yeah, that is kind of rough. Although I think if you change some things up and then if
I changed her name, maybe. I mean, the story's not exactly the same.
It's all
the story
execution.
was she was like a maid robot,
Mm-hmm.
and then she disobeyed her master, and now she's like in an interrogation at like the factory as to why.
Before she gets like decommissioned.
yeah,
right?
and then she gets decommissioned. Yeah, at the end.
I forgot. Does she know she's a robot beforehand, or is she learning it at the same time she's getting decommissioned?
She learned it after she disobeyed, and so like she's coming to
right.
terms with it while she's being interrogated.
Oh yeah, so it's like double trouble.
This is not very interesting for people who haven't read the
it's
story,
cool.
but this
It's
is
fun.
the story I
It's a fun
wrote, and
idea.
then a year later, Ex Machina came out, or like 2 years later.
Yeah, very serendipitous.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, okay. So you were talking about a moment where you were like, I came up with this idea. What idea was it? What part?
Oh, so I had this idea that's basically it's a spy movie, and the very basic bare bones pitch is it's like, what if a James Bond movie became Flowers for Algernon? You know what I mean?
No, what is that? What is Flowers for Algernon?
Flowers for Algernon is a short story about a man who is I don't know. I don't really know what his mental status is at the opening of the story, but he has let's just say he's got some cognitive trouble, and he is entered into an experiment to see if they can increase intelligence, and he does it, and he becomes super smart, and the rest of the story is basically. The process is not permanent, and so he starts to lose his intelligence while he's trying to keep it up. So there's this kind of like tragic mental decay that goes on.
Right.
And I just thought it was super like I like the idea of you do one of those James Bond trippy openings, but the character is aware of what's happening around them and gets to interact with the trippy opening as it's happening. Like it's not just like,
Right, okay,
here's
so-
the James Bond. It's like they're involved in it.
That's kind of the idea, but that didn't exactly happen.
It didn't exactly happen. So that's why I still...
Close. It's close.
Yeah, it's very close, though.
They're tiptoeing on the edge.
And I was like, Because I really like that idea. I think that could be really fun.
Okay, so what's next?
We were talking about Deadpool 2, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Deadpool 2.
Really, I thought it was really strong. I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
Um,
Some of the jokes didn't land,
yeah.
but I mean that's the
It reminded
character.
me
though.
so much of Guardians. There's so many Guardians of the Galaxy references in this movie. Not references, but like similarities.
Yeah.
Because there was, they played that song,
Pina
Pina Colada.
Yeah.
They had a scene where characters go to prison and they have yellow outfits.
Yellow jumpsuits. Yeah.
The music is done by Tyler Bates, who also does the soundtrack for Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
There's a scene where there is a lot of carnage because a vehicle just crashed and all the characters are waking up from the crash, which is
Kind of like when the collector's thing explodes. Oh.
yeah, well, that, but
Or
also
when,
Ronan's ship.
Ronan's ship, yeah.
Yeah. A couple similarities.
All right. Okay. So we should probably talk about like plot points, right?
Plot points.
Yeah.
I felt super weird about that one kid.
The fat kid.
Yeah, because I was like, there's part of me that was like, I love his performance. There's some really
It was
great
a little
jokes.
weird. It was a little shaky.
It was a
to
little
me.
weird. It was like, it was like, what
Like
do you call
it was like it was a dramatic performance that he was trying to play off with comedy,
Yeah,
and it didn't
it was
meld.
a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
but
He's great
when he was
in-
great, there were so many.
You haven't seen Hunt for the Wilder People, right?
I have not seen that
He
one,
is
yeah.
fantastic in that movie.
I love when he does the
Yeah, the exit.
exit. That was really funny. That was super great. I just wanted, and also too, I was like, it's so funny because I'm always like, because I'm very aware of the idea of like the mentally unstable young man who says he's going to kill people. I'm very aware of that trope culturally, and it's so funny because I'm always like, I'm always one that's I'm very sympathetic with like when somebody's like has really like a rough time of it. Like I have sympathy for monsters sometimes,
Right.
or I can. I have the capacity for it. But in this instance, I was just uncomfortable. I was like, it's very hard for me to be sympathetic with this monster because, like,
Yeah, it seemed he seemed to. The parallels between his like crazy side and his normal side were like too much. Like,
yeah, it
like
was way too.
his jokey, silly side didn't seem like the kind of. I don't know. It didn't meld well. Like it seemed too.
Yeah, it was
harsh
so
and abrupt.
inconsistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, what's your internal logic? What's your motivating force? Is like, you just want to kill this person? And it's like, there's so many, if he wants to like hurt somebody who's like, who is also another villain, Like there's so many different ways you could play that.
I don't think he was right for the part. I like that actor a lot. I think he's great. He's really funny.
Maybe.
But like
there were just some lines where he really was killing it. There's some really funny jokes in there.
But think about the kid from Chronicle.
Oh, Dane DeHaan?
Yeah, the way I don't like him as an actor, but he plays that part really well.
That role is really good. Yeah,
doing a role, I feel like that was the character that this character should have been.
Yeah,
but I don't think this kid could have pulled
Well, it's funny that you said that there were moments where a little too dramatic, because I felt like they didn't take it seriously enough for it to get too dramatic. Oh, excuse me. I didn't see any real drama till the end when Deadpool is dying. Spoilers. After.
Wow. Yeah.
We've already said spoilers, but when he's dying, then it was like, okay, now everybody has shown up and they're trying to do their thing.
I really liked that scene.
That was great.
I'm glad it went on for a really long time. And as every time something like that happens, I always say, should have gone on longer. Yeah, it should have just been painful. Like to the point where it wasn't funny anymore. You know what I mean? I think that would have been great.
That would have been pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah, so what did you think of Cable?
I was not expecting anything. I thought basically was like he saved all his acting juice for Thanos, so I had no expectations.
He should have changed his voice a bit because it was just Thanos.
Yeah, it's very similar. But I was pleasantly surprised. I think he's more interesting with Deadpool around. Like their conversations together are more interesting than anything else. Because his storyline by itself is not like in the movie is not super interesting to me. Just because it's like I'm like he's like a upset time traveler.
Yeah.
I'm like, for instance, I like characters that are upset and want revenge, but it's like Kylo Ren is a great character who's upset and wants revenge.
Yeah.
Like I'm like down with that. But with Cable, the stoic revenge thing is really,
you just can't get too deep into a Deadpool movie. I think is the problem.
Well, you should be able to, because Deadpool movies you can do whatever you want. There are no limits.
It's
ideally.
It seems like there's still limits, and there shouldn't be, but it feels like there is.
That's why those end parts are so great.
Yeah,
because it's like, oh, this is wonderful. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah,
that's what Deadpool is. Deadpool is somebody who, and it's that great question. If you can do whatever you want, what do you do? That's a wonderful thing to think about.
It seems like they're still afraid.
Yeah,
to really go crazy.
And I thought that this movie was going to suffer because some of the people from the last movie left, or maybe the main director of the last one or something.
They need Taika Waititi to come in there and just kind of
mix it up.
That would be great.
I noticed they did the joke from Thor Ragnarok of the sun's going real low, and I was like, that's pretty. Yeah, it's interesting.
So I knew right off the bat that was going to be Juggernaut.
I didn't know,
but I was disappointed with how he looked and acted and was.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, it's better than Last Stand, I think.
Yeah,
I think, but anything would have been better than Last Stand. So it's not a huge improvement.
I didn't like you didn't get it. He didn't have a face. He didn't like. I get he has the helmet on, but like
no face.
The cartoon had a better version of him. I feel like that. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true for a lot of the X-Men. The cartoon is way better.
True. But I did like the fight with Colossus. I thought that was good, and I like that version of Colossus a lot.
Yeah, he's really warmed on me too.
I want him to be in the other X-Men movies though.
Yeah, that's strange. Is that he's not in them? That's super strange to me.
That cameo was funny though, with all of them in that room, and
that
I like
great.
how I'm so happy it didn't linger. I'm glad it was like I didn't even get to really see who was in the room.
That was a very comic book moment. I was very happy with that. Yeah. It was like Beast. I think I saw Quicksilver.
I saw Beast, Quicksilver, and I saw Scott, and I think I saw Jean.
That's very funny.
Probably Storm was probably there, and probably Professor X was probably there as well.
Is that the 90s? Because I think I saw a Nirvana T-shirt or logo or something.
Yeah, right. Like it was the young versions of them. So I don't know if they were the old versions.
That's the weird thing about the timeline is everybody's staying the same age, and it's like all the decades are going by, and they still look young.
Yeah, they still look the same. Yeah, they tried to make them look older in Apocalypse, but like it's just like really sad. They just gave everybody mom jeans.
Because there was like 3. It's been 3 so far, right? There's
Days of Future Past.
No, First Class. Days of Future Past. Apocalypse, and that's like 30 years, and they still look like they just turned 20.
Yeah, that is 30 years. Yeah,
super weird.
60s, 70s.
These people should be 50 by Apocalypse. They should be 50 years old.
Yeah, they look like they're 25.
At least 40. At least A strong. That's
At
a young
least-
40.
At least a young 40.
Young 40.
Yeah. But I liked that cameo. That was funny how they're all in the room. And that's definitely what they
That
would
was
do.
really
They'd be like,
good.
oh, Deadpool's here. We got to close. I liked that when he joined the X-Men for a time. Because I know...
Yeah. Oh, I like the trainee vest.
The trainee vest,
That was
yeah.
great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun jokes in this movie. I think I like the jokes in this movie way more than the first
It
one.
seemed less dirty.
Yeah.
It was a lot
Yeah.
more less dirty jokes, except for
Wider appeal.
the baby legs, which I just thought was like, I don't know.
Is the baby legs a dirty joke?
Did you not see the Schwanz when he opened his legs?
Oh, they show it?
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was shown.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's
at
why
all.
it was weird. It felt very uncomfortable. and
Oh, okay.
it was a bit much. It was a little too much.
I totally didn't understand. I just was like, oh, he's got little legs. That's very silly. And then everybody around us was having the weirdest reactions, and I was like, this is fun.
You missed it.
Yeah,
Missed when he crossed his legs.
I
and
totally
We
missed.
got a full view of. It was so short though. No, okay, hang on. The sequence was quick.
Yeah.
Dang it. I just fell into a Deadpool joke.
That's ideal. I think a lot of the jokes felt they weren't 100% character motivated. It's no Guardians of the Galaxy, but
No King's Speech.
It's no King's Speech. But I do think that the jokes were really strong in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, super strong.
And
And everybody loved that joke. The hi. I forget her name. but-
Yuki or whatever. her name was. I actually really
Yeah.
liked that too.
That
Yukio,
yeah, that was a good joke, but it was funny. They did it a lot.
They
I was
did it
like,
a
oh,
lot.
wow.
I know. It felt like the kind of joke that the writers put in for themselves.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like, I think this is funny. I'm gonna keep
That's
doing
pretty
it
fun.
just because they can. Even
Yeah.
when he's dying, he's like, "Hi, Yukio."
Yukio.
She's like, "Hi."
Yeah, I think everything was pretty good.
Yeah.
I got to talk about this real quick.
Okay. Quick
Because
aside.
one
what?
of those looks real. One of those looks like a photo, and then one of them is clearly from Lord of the Rings.
I was talking about my Lord of the Rings pictures on the walls.
And I know they're both, but like
They're the same artist. They're from a calendar. There's another one back there.
one of them looks like a photo of like just New Zealand, and the other is like a magical. It's like you're in a travel office and they're like, these are the different destinations you can go to, and you're like, is that a giant eagle? What? And they're like, oh, that's my DeviantArt drawing. It looks good. It's not a DeviantArt drawing. It looks very good.
You love to drag things off topic, don't you? Drag
do.
it through the coals and the mud.
My brain am not work so good.
What did you think of the X-Force?
I love X-Force. I mean, I thought it was fun in the movie, really fun. I had a great time.
Yeah.
The problem is, in the comics, the X-Force are really cool and they're kind of like the Illuminati, like they are the super secret strike team who take care of stuff before. They're like brutal. They're like. It's when you're reading them, you like are reading like a really like, whoa, this is some shit, and nobody knows who's on X-Force. Like, it's a secret. It's like, shh, don't tell anybody. And it's a great team. It's Wolverine, Deadpool. I remember I was reading the Rick Remender one. It's like Wolverine, Deadpool, Psylocke, Angel, but Angel's like his like Apocalypse counterpart, so he's like scary. I forget what his name is. He's got a weird name, like
Dark Angel,
like wing, yeah, murder blades or some murder wings or something like crazy like that. Oh no, Archangel.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually what it's called.
Yeah, I remember. Murder wings. No,
Murder Wing.
it's just Archangel. That's fine. It's like, okay. And then Phantomas is on the team, and it's great. It's just a grand old time.
Well, they all died.
They all died. They did all die.
That was kind of funny, but I felt like it should have been played. It dragged a little bit, so I felt like it didn't land as well with me.
Yeah, it felt a little disjointed, but
It should have happened really fast. Like, everybody should have just smashed onto the ground.
Yeah, yeah, it was fun. It's fun.
I liked Domino a lot,
She was so great.
but I really
It was
wanted to
insane.
see more of her luck power stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
we
they
only
could have
got a
gotten
little-
really
yeah.
creative with it, but I feel
Yeah.
like we only got a little smidgen.
Just a
So I
tiny.
hope we get to
we
see
got like
more.
one shot.
Yeah, I hope we get to see more of her. I liked her go-lucky attitude. She was like, she wasn't upset ever.
Yeah.
And I like that.
That's the funniest thing ever, because we talked about this in the car. Like, she's in Atlanta, and she's great in Atlanta. She's like an amazing actor, but like I don't like her character, because her character is mean all the time, and she's just angry all the time, right? And so it's hard for me to be like, ugh, like, you know, go you. It's like she's just angry. But in this movie, she's so like fun to be around.
I wanted more
and it's
of
like,
that character.
wow, this is a total 180 from the character you played in that other show. It was like insane. It was like, wow, this is I was like taken aback.
I feel like they could have gotten a lot more creative with that power.
Yeah, definitely.
And they did
could
that one scene, but they could have gotten real. They could have been like, there could have been a scene like, you know how everybody talks about the Quicksilver scene in Days of Future Past. It could have been something. It could have been something like to that effect.
Yeah, it definitely had the potential.
I'm not smart enough to come up with anything like that, but someone probably
you're
is.
a smarty pants. You're a smarty pants.
I mean, come on.
I like that's your modest. I mean, come on.
Come on, man. Do you know what you're even saying? Stupid idiot. Shut up. I like the idea of someone who doesn't take compliments well, and he gets really mean about it, but like in a really angry way. He's like, oh, you know, you can just go like cut your throat, man. I hate you so much.
You pirate. I don't know. Is that what you listen? I just watched some Pirates of the Caribbean films.
Good stuff.
Which is where they insult people by calling them pirate. What? That's
a pirate.
Listen, this is a kids movie. The only thing you can yell at somebody is pirate.
And if you want to get real crazy, bloody pirate.
Bloody pirate.
Okay, anything else from Deadpool Dos?
I
feel like we're missing something. What
What
else happened in this movie?
A lot of great music in that movie. A lot of great music.
Good musical choices. Yeah,
I like all the choices. And yeah,
I like the Celine Dion at the beginning.
I got so upset.
You did?
There was
Connor's giving this grumpy face.
I got really upset.
I got so upset.
I got so upset because I was watching the movie Deadpool 2, and as I was watching it, I was keenly aware. Yes, some of the jokes and ideas in this movie would be very, very exciting for a certain type of person who I do not like, who is very doesn't understand irony and doesn't understand that it's making fun of them. And there's I don't know, this is a very specific type of person.
I'm not following you at all.
It's very hard to describe, but basically there's a very specific type of person that unironically is a Deadpool fan, but they don't understand that this is satirical or where the character base comes from. You know what I mean? Like, they don't understand why Deadpool is doing the things that he's doing, and so they take it at face value. You know what I mean? So
no,
it's really frustrating because it's like
Are you talking about people who don't have a sense of humor?
Well, they would disagree with
or
you.
a sense of humor for the wrong reasons.
They have a sense of humor for the wrong reasons. They have a really, and it's forced. It's forced, and it's like, I don't know if you know people like this, but I've met people like this.
Yeah.
No, you have met people like this. I know you have, because we both know somebody who is like this. I won't say it.
Connor, if I mute it real quick, will you tell me who it is?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, 1 second. Wait, you gotta say it quick, Connor, because I'm just muting it for a second. We're still live.
Is it muted or not?
This is terrible. Connor, just say the name.
It's not one name. There are many denizens of this tribe, of this village.
How do I know these people?
Well, because we've met them and we've been in the same room as these people. And it's not just it's not just one person too. It's like this type of same personality trait keeps appearing over and over again because it keeps perpetuating itself.
You're gonna have to tell me later because I just did random mutes.
It's if you mute it again for like 5 seconds, I would be able to.
Right.
Oh, it is live. It's
live. Yeah.
Okay,
so it's just random bits of mutes.
Well, I'll give you a little hint. I could just tell you later. Actually, I'll just tell you later. But anyways,
yeah,
they're just awful to deal with. They're just awful.
Okay.
And so I'm watching the movie, and there are these two people who sit next to us, and I was like, oh boy,
Yeah, okay, I noticed. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
yeah. And they talked throughout, through, not throughout the whole movie, but they talked a lot during the movie. And from the brief snippets of conversation I heard, I was like, oh, these are the type of people that I am not a huge fan of. They love this.
I had that happen when I watched Ready Player One.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
a couple next to me were just like they'd be like, Master Chief.
Right. And it's like,
Yeah, we get it. I see him on screen.
whoa, I can't believe it.
N64.
It's like, what are you you're just saying things. That's the problem too I have with this
Seeing with the population of the world and seeing things with other people in the room.
well,
You
that's
don't know?
that because there's a lot of umbrella terms for nerd culture, and that's one of the big problems I have for quote unquote nerd culture.
Yeah.
Because it's like you like it because blank. You don't just like it because you like it. There has to be a reason. It's not just I love Star Wars because Star Wars is good. No, you like it because you like King Arthur because it's a King Arthur story.
Not everybody likes King Arthur.
I like King Arthur, and I like it because King Arthur has a lot of themes. You know, oh God, can we talk about Sir Gawain and the Green Knight? Because I gotta unload.
Of course, we can talk about Sir Gawain the Green Knight.
Sir Gawain
we
the
can
Green
always
Knight
make room for Sir Gawain the Green Knight.
Is the most fun you will ever have reading an Arthurian legend because it's it's an Arthurian legend that subverts the Arthurian. I'm a knight that's gonna go on a quest. I'm going to go on a quest and I'm going to fulfill my duty and be honorable. Because it's a knight about the whole time as he's being tested. And he fails at the end. And everybody's like, it's fine. It's fine. And he's upset. He's upset at himself because he's like, no, I made a mistake. And it's the best one. It's the best Arthurian legend. He fails. And he doesn't understand that he was a pawn in a much larger game being played by the more darker forces. And he's just like, I let down my friends and my family. And the story ends on a happy ending. And it's the weirdest fucking story ever. And it's so fun. It's the best. It's the best Arthurian legend.
Well, I'm not going to read it, but it sounds great.
It's so good. It's so good.
All right, Connor. Deadpool 2. My new rating system. You want to hear it?
Yeah. Popping on me.
On a scale from 1 to Black Panther, how much did you like this movie?
The Black Panther. Oh, I guess so you're saying Black Panther is watchable.
Black Panther is the best movie of all time, Connor. Don't you know?
You keep mentioning Black Panther. Well, it's so funny. You kind of called it on Black Panther because I was listening to one of our old episodes, and you're like, I'm not very excited for Black Panther, and you talked about the villain. You're like, well, the villain's probably going to be good, and then he's probably going to die. And I was like, you're right about both those statements. You called it. You called it, buddy. Yeah, I mean that's
our new scale though. By the way, it's between 1 and Black Panther. How much did you like this movie?
I would.
You can say anything.
I don't.
You don't have to give it a number.
That's the problem with the Black Panther measurement is because I don't know what
Connor,
the brackets are. Any measurement?
Any measurement.
1 out of Black Panther. I'll give it a solid. Woo.
I'll give it a Deadpool 1.
I'll give it a Deadpool 1. I'll give it a. I'll give it a never-ending story. Yeah, there you go.
See, that's how you do the rating. You get it.
Yeah, I get it.
You get it.
I understand.
Okay. One last question for you. What are your thoughts on
Are we
Black
done?
Panther?
Are we done?
No.
That was super quick.
No, we can keep going. What do you want to talk about next?
But we're done talking about Deadpool.
Yeah, I mean...
Did you have any favorite moments? I didn't get to ask you if you had any favorite moments.
Crap. I liked when he was in the X Mansion.
That was great.
Riding around on
and he's on the wheelchair.
Wheelchair, yeah. I liked that. Let's see. I liked the recruiting scene.
That was
fun. They recruited everybody.
Yeah.
I liked all the domino scenes. I thought she was a lot of fun.
She was a real standout.
I liked that chase scene in general.
Mm-hmm.
I thought there was some good action there. And one of my favorite lines is like, "I'll use this brick."
Yeah, that was cool.
That was an underused line. I like that.
I really did. I did. I thought that was fun. That was charming. There were a lot of moments that were very charming in this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that there are moments where it kind of overstays its welcome, and
keep getting messages.
But I think it's worth it ultimately.
Yeah, I would recommend this movie. If you saw the first one, you liked it, you're probably gonna like this one.
Yeah, you'll really like this one.
If you didn't like the first one, you're not gonna like this one. And if you don't care about Deadpool and you don't like dirty jokes, don't see it. It's not for everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
Deadpool's
It
not
is
for everybody,
it
and I
is
think
not for
that's
everybody.
fine.
That's
He's
a
an annoying
shame.
character.
Well, it's such a shame because it could be so fun. It could be so much more fun than
I
it
don't think
is.
they've unlocked the full potential yet.
Yeah, they have not unlocked the potential. Your full potential. How do you like the trailers for what we saw? What trailers did we see?
I don't remember.
We saw fucking Venom.
Oh,
I was laughing so hard
the Venom trailer.
in my mind. Is that a threat?
It's not that. I'm not that excited about it.
It looks so bad. It looks awful. It looks like a fan film.
That scene with the motorcycle is like the most cliched thing. Where he pulls himself back onto it.
You're gonna lose everything you love. Didn't you just meet this person the other day? Are you crazy?
You don't even know what he
You
loves.
don't even know. Yeah,
He could love
He could love
Cool Ranch Doritos.
Cool Ranch,
Those aren't going anywhere.
Hot Ranch. Is that a thing?
Hot Ranch Doritos?
Hot Ranch.
I don't think they're
This is a new flavor.
I'm gonna get some Doritos on the way home, or maybe on the way to drop you off, I'll get some because I have to stop and get air in my tires.
Oh yeah, I might. Yeah, I might.
You might. Yeah. Yeah.
You if interesting, I noticed you're like, I wish they had done something different with the powers for. There's a character you're talking about. Like, I wish they'd shown their powers differently, or Domino, right?
Yeah, I wish they gave more.
If you would like to see X-Men characters use their powers in cool ways, you should probably watch Legion. And I watched Dunkirk.
Connor, Dunkirk is an hour and like 40 minutes long, and it goes by like 25 minutes. I'm not going to get
That's
into an
true.
entire season right now.
Oh, there's so
I
many
don't have
good
the time
there's so
for
many
it.
good shows.
And it doesn't tie into anything, so it doesn't matter to me right now.
Oh, but it
When I'm
does.
rewatching Chuck right now. When I really, because I've only seen it the one time. I love that show.
Right.
No, I will watch Legion someday because I always get to them eventually. It's just that I will catch up on the seasons and then I'll have to wait, and I don't want to have to do that.
That's true. That's true. You're right. You're right. It does. It takes like 2 years for each season
Right.
to come out. So that's smart. You're playing it smart. I'm actually. You know what's funny? There's people I've heard legend of people who are not watching Game of Thrones, don't care about spoilers, and like they're just gonna watch it all when it's done. And I think that's actually kind of a smart.
That's what I did for Breaking Bad. Although I avoided spoilers, but I watched it all at once.
You must be awful trying
Yeah.
to avoid spoilers for Infinity War because it turned into a meme.
Yeah, it did turn into a meme. Yeah, with all the disappearing people.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, if you haven't seen it, it's stupid. I get it for TV shows because it's such a commitment and they only come out once a week sometimes, and like you have to wait, and it's just so many episodes to go through. And a movie, you just go for 2 hours and you're done. You've caught up. You know?
Yeah, you're right. It is a pretty short time commitment.
So suck it up. Go see
it.
Infinity War. Maybe Deadpool 2.
Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
next?
What's next?
Solo, I think.
Solo. Oh boy, Solo. Yeah. Oh, Arrested Development, new season coming out on at the end of the month. I'm excited for it because I love that show.
I don't watch that show.
It's fun.
I'm doing my thing, and I feel like I broke. No, it's pretty good.
I think Tyler's watching them right now. Tyler's going through
he
them.
is. I just talked to him yesterday, so he's watching.
Yeah.
Tyler should be on this stupid podcast.
No, Tyler.
An idiot.
Are you listening? Are you
No.
there, Tyler? It's
He's
me.
not. He's not. We have a microphone here. It's not being used. We're gonna have to get a guest on here soon.
Yeah. Ooh,
We were
yeah.
gonna have one today.
I know,
He
Connor.
couldn't make it though. He had family things.
That boy.
He is the guy who got me. I wouldn't say into Deadpool, but he's a huge Deadpool fan, and so he let me borrow a couple of his comics.
Yeah, I wanted to get his opinions on it.
Yeah,
'cause
I
he
read
seems like a fan.
Deadpool Kills the Avengers. He let me borrow that. A couple
is that
other
good?
smaller stories, but yeah, he's the one who got me introduced to the character, and that's why I think I enjoyed the first movie more than I would have because I knew exactly what to expect.
Right.
Whereas my brother, who I just talked about it yesterday, he said he didn't like the first one because
What is
came out of
Michael's
left
favorite
field.
movie?
Michael's favorite movie.
Yeah, or some of his favorite movies.
He likes the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, classics.
He likes Marvel a lot.
Yo, he really likes the Marvel
He
movies?
loves it. Yeah.
Oh.
He watches like
Was he there with us for Infinity War? He was.
Yeah, he sat next to me.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. It's his wife brought the blanket.
yeah. She brings blanket
And then
everywhere.
you made fun of her for it.
Yeah, I have
That
to.
was really great banter. That was super funny. I know everybody was charmed by that interaction.
I feel like you're being sarcastic.
No, that's just my face when I am charmed by an interaction. It looks sarcastic, but like that was, I genuinely thought that was funny. I was like, that's so funny.
She likes to bully me, so I have to fight back as best I can.
I never see. Well, that's funny because that's the only time. Because when you guys came to the improv thing, I couldn't tell that you guys bullied each other. It makes sense.
It's joke bully, by the way.
It's joke bully.
Yeah, just to let you know, it's not. I'm
not
not
real.
actually being bullied. I'm okay. My parents are disappointed in me, but
just gotta be more
it's
disappointed.
gonna be
than them.
more disappointed than them. It's the only option.
Only option.
Um,
Have you ever read the book Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson?
no, but I've seen the cartoon version of it.
Oh, Treasure Planet. Yeah, Treasure Planet.
That had a video game for the PlayStation
Was it good?
1, and it was so hard.
It was hard.
It was not good.
Nintendo.
I couldn't get past the surfing level.
Oh yeah, because you gotta fucking do all this shit.
Gotta collect some coins.
Collect some coins.
Anything else you want to discuss?
Do you like Citizen Kane?
No. What?
You don't like Citizen Kane?
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. I feel like you like that movie. It's like
I feel like I won't. I feel like I feel like I'm gonna watch it and go, "What the heck's so great about this?" Because I don't like to fall into the pit of this is the best movie ever. So it is like the Godfather pit.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was
That's true.
boring. I'm
That
gonna
is
be
annoying.
honest with it. Not that good.
Yeah, well, Godfather is very.
If it doesn't do anything to me, I'm not gonna care. And so I feel I don't want to watch Citizen Kane because I feel like I'm not gonna care about it.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm just gonna waste my time. I should watch it though.
It's good, and it's. I feel like it's got very great lighting. To say the one of the many good things it's got going for
Isn't
it.
it black and white?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, you can.
Black and white,
but,
you know, Nosferatu, German expressionism.
There's no such thing as white or black light. You goof.
Oh, shadow, light and shadow. Wait, isn't black a color on the spectrum? Right?
No.
Is that no?
It's just all colors. No, all colors is white. In the light spectrum, all colors makes white.
Oh, right.
And then on the color spectrum, all colors make black.
Interesting.
Yeah, when I do my lighting for LEDs, the way you make white light, it's red, green, blue, RGB.
Right.
And you have to turn them all up all the way to make white light. And then if you want to make like
what's the most dangerous light to handle? Like, because them shits are hot.
What do you mean LEDs? LEDs don't get hot at all.
No, but I mean like stage lights. Like those are like heavy, dangerous, hot. Aren't you not supposed to touch those? Or something?
You wear gloves.
You wear gloves.
Yeah, I wear fingerless gloves, so it's kind of a waste of time. No, I'm kidding. My gloves have 2 fingers missing. The rest are covered.
Oh, okay.
But
2
yeah.
fingers. So you're like old British. You're like the
so I can-
Alpha
It's so when I'm working with wood, I can grab screws and things like that really easily.
Oh, that's
and
pretty
nails,
cool.
yeah.
Interesting.
So I
Is it one of those things where you can take it?
No.
Oh.
It's missing the thumb and the index finger. And so, I mean, it sacrifices the safety of my 2 fingers, but it makes life a lot easier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is interesting. What's the most dangerous part of your job?
My job?
Yeah.
Probably lifting really, really heavy things above
Oh,
people's
yeah.
heads.
I don't know how to lift things. Like people are like, lift with your legs, not your back. And I'm like, it's the same. It
You do
feels
both. You do both at the same time.
Yeah. I feel like I do. I don't understand when I'm not. Well, I don't understand what I'm doing either because it feels like I'm doing the same.
Yeah.
Like when you're like lift with your legs, my legs are what are holding me up. I lift with my arms, right?
Just don't move any part of your body and lift with your arms.
Yeah, right. Is that what you're lift with? And then you move your body when you're lifting something. You move your whole body.
Yeah, you do like a.
It's like lift with your legs. I can't not
The
move
best thing to
every
do
single
is
part.
you know
of me.
those blow up dancing tubes. You just do that. That's how you lift things up. You grab things and you just kind of like flop your whole body and roll.
I feel like that sounds real. Like that's some.
It's not real. I just made it up.
Okay. Because I was about to be like, we correct the fucking case. That one.
Connor, I think
I just want robots to take over.
we've run out of things to
They
say.
can do the heavy lifting. We're not even halfway done. No, yeah. I think we've genuinely. I just want to hear more from Terry. I just want to hear more. I want you to spill your guts.
Let's get Connor from the third mic.
Yeah, I woke up in the
Wait, we're not hearing anything. Okay, go ahead.
I woke up in the morning time, came up with this little rhyme. I'm a crocodile sitting in a tree.
That was Connor from the third mic.
Yeah. Do you like how my brain is basically...
Thank you for being here, Connor, from the third mic.
Do I have a learning disability? Or...
I wonder that every day. They tried to tell me I did, and then I...
Oh, is that legit?
Yeah.
Which one?
When I was in middle school and part of high school, they had me on one of those IEPs because they thought I had a learning disability, and it was just laziness.
It was just laziness.
And then I realized it was laziness, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to try, and then I got out of it.
Interesting.
The IEP,
yeah.
Which was the worst decision I could have made because I could have gotten more scholarships for being on an IEP, but I didn't.
Is that legit?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I should have just stayed on it and gotten school for free or more free.
I think there's a stigma against getting an IEP because it's like, oh, like you're different because you have different needs, and it's like, yeah, why is that bad? Why is that bad to be different?
I was born this way, but I didn't actually. I was just they never taught me how to try in like elementary school because they thought I had it right away, and so they kind of held my hand all the way through, and then it's middle school and things like that.
Interesting.
And so I didn't know what it was like to try, and then finally I was like, I still don't really know, but I tried harder, and then I got right out of that little stick, little mud pile pack. Nothing wrong with being on an IEP. I'm not saying that.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that there's a stigma.
But I think
sucks.
the biggest problem is I don't think teachers know how to deal with it yet.
Yeah.
They do it all incorrectly. Like they used to take me out of the classroom during tests, and it made me feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
And so everybody's staring at me like this kid gets taken out of the test.
You're like,
what's wrong with him?
Yeah, and then
it's like they don't understand what school is like. Like, come on.
They're like, here, let's take you out of your social environment, make you feel different, make you feel lesser than.
Yep.
And yeah, that'll be good
so
for your self-esteem.
You. Yeah. Yeah, it was great for my self-esteem. Fantastic. That's not the right way to do things.
We did it. Another child successfully acclimatized.
Saved him. All right.
Yeah.
Connor, thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you
for coming to see the movie with me, being my date.
Oh, it was a goddamn pleasure.
Yeah, it was.
It was a goddamn delight. In
the words of that guy.
Bookman.
The Bookman on Twitter.
The Bookman. Crack open a book.
Crack open a book. Read it. Put it away.
Read and weep.
What a weird saying.
That's the saying. That's the one you gotta do it. Read it and weep.
Think about that. Like I proved you wrong. Read it and then cry about it afterwards.
I hope your tear ducts are inflamed.
Do you cry while you read it?
It's like it must be so painful. It must be like
how do you read with your eyes all watery? Have you tried that? I have allergies right now and I'm having trouble reading stuff. You heard me with those tweets. I couldn't read them. My eyes were all puffed and red. Man. I gotta get air in my tires, Connor. So we should.
Oh yeah, let's go.
All right, thanks for listening. You can find us on YouTube at Invested or iTunes.
On iTunes.
If you listen on iTunes, give it a rate. I don't know if anybody is because it doesn't let you see if anybody's listening to it, which is weird. Whatever.
Just have faith. Trust. Have faith.
Trust.
Trust.
Thanks for listening.
That's the name of the song is Trust in the Sequence by Prince.
Oh. That's why you're punching the air.
Like Joker do.
Okay. Bye. Will you say goodbye for God's sake?
Oh, bye-bye.